Hello campers, I'm back again for story time, and today we will be reading a book about Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. Let's see what makes grace so amazing. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. So she didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anastasia the spider. She hid in a wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big seawater, and Malgai in the backyard jungle. See, she's acting out. Malgai and Hiawatha. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat and a found city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing the magic lamp to make the big genie appear. You see Grace and her cat, which was her companion. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play called Peter Pan. Grace knew she wanted to be, but when she raised her hand, Raji said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan. So we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. So let's see if Grace is going to get that part. She wants the most important part, which is Peter Pan. One student said she was a girl and Peter Pan was a boy. And then another told her that she was black because Peter Pan was white apparently. Let's see what's going to happen. When Grace came home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" said Ma. "Raji said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raji knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know anything. You can be anything you want to be if you just put your mind to it." So they were trying to discourage Grace, but Mom told Grace she could be anything she wants to be. On Saturday, Nana and Grace, they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosaline Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights." "Are you going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first, I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer it said, "Stunning new Juliet." So let's see what's going to happen in the Grand Theater with Juliet. "That one is little Rosaline from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosaline dance? So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played a part of Juliet dancing around in her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. So she was listening to her mother saying she can be anything that she wants. She's dancing around in her imaginary tutu after the ballet. On Monday, the class met for the auditions to choose who was the best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend, so she took a deep breath and imagined herself to fly. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raji to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. So there was no doubt who was going to be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. So look at Grace auditioning for Peter Pan. So after Wendy and Raji had been chosen for the other parts, they knew that Grace would be Peter Pan. Let's see. So the play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. See, Grace? And that's the end of the story. Although her classmates were trying to discourage Grace to choose another part because she was black and she wasn't a boy, she still was determined to be Peter Pan. And her mom and Nana told her, you can be anything you want to be. So always remember, don't let people discourage you because you can be anything you want to be. And that's a nice story of Amazing Grace. That's how she was so amazing.